Welcome back to the Tradesman channel, everybody. My name is Jim, in case you're new here. Now tonight we're taking a little bit of a departure from the standard blacksmithing stuff or woodworking stuff or all that we're doing. As those of you who follow the channel regularly know, we're in the middle of starting our tool production side business. It's going quite well. The tools are starting to get out in people's hands. I've got chisels that are shipping out within the next couple of days. I'm trying to make enough to get a stock on the website, but they're selling out before I can even get them listed on there. Great problem to have. But we have a tool tonight that I'm going to show you that is going to aid in our production and add a little more production value to it. Full disclaimer, this tool was sent to me by the manufacturer. They picked up on some of the videos. They liked what they saw, so they decided to send something my way. This is not paid. The only thing I get out of this is the machine itself. But before we even look at the machine, every new machine in the shop deserves a shiny, clean, new surface that'll stay shiny and clean for maybe 2 hours, just long enough to make this video. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy it. I'll catch you on the other side of it. All right, here it is, everybody. So this is an Ortur Laser Master 2 Pro. Now, I tested it out a little bit. I have a whole lot to learn. I need to make some chisel sheaths anyway. I think this is a pretty good time to do it. Here's the part that I'm not the best at. So I've got to learn how to do all this, but we're going to start with, let's say I'll start with our 1-inch chisel. So let's see what we get here. We'll go width, we'll go 50. And height. So we'll go 130. Okay, so this is going to be, we're going to cut a line. We'll try that speed. Let's see, speed, we'll try 200. Single pass. All that good. So say I want some text. We're going to make this see. Okay, so it's going to be line 2, and we're going to call that a fill. I'm going to say go, say 50% power. Actually, we have a handy-dandy little reference sheet here. The speed, it says 20,000. Our max power is at 60. Now I've got to resize this. Now, let's see. Let's just see what happens. Okay, we're going to do the shaky camera thing a little bit here, but let's see what we ended up with. So really I should have done 2 passes there, maybe even slowed it down a little bit, but not too bad. This is just about through, so I think what I did there, I should have slowed it down just a little bit. I had it at full power, but I think I was going just a little bit too quick. That said, it wasn't too bad. I just left a little tiny bit uncut. Easy enough for me to pop it out of there, but I don't think it'll be all right. Let's try it again. All right, let's see if this one did any better. Oh yeah, much better. Just had to slow it down a little bit. Well, that's not too bad though. Now I kind of want to see how this does on a round tool handle. Now granted, they make a turntable for this, like a rotisserie type thing. But right now, this is my first chisel that I beat the crap out of. But we're just going to give it a shot and see what it does. Oh, that is sweet. Now, let's see if I can get you guys some better lighting. That is awesome. That is really cool. Now, I know you shouldn't be able to engrave metal with this, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. So far, this thing's really neat. Now, I'm sorry if this video seems like a train wreck. I'm trying to learn this thing as I go, so it's going to be quite the learning curve. But I could already tell you that this tool right here is going to get a lot of use in the shop. Now, this is certainly not the most powerful laser machine that this company makes. They sent me kind of their, I won't say it's not like an entry-level machine, but it's one of those affordable options. The price range on this is not that bad at all. And especially if you want to learn it, you want to get into it. Now I'm trying to light burn software with it, which I'm learning as I go. It's like anything else. So you get so much stuff in your head, you keep trying to learn, but we're going to keep going with it. We're just going to keep trying different things, see what it etches, see what it doesn't etch. I'm actually pretty happy with the way it cuts leather. I think if I slow it down to a couple of passes, that won't be an issue. Now the leather I'm cutting with it is actually a little bit thicker than what it's specified. That first piece we put on there is a really thick piece of cowhide that's really hard, and it cut over halfway through it with a couple of passes. That's pretty good for what this thing actually is. Now towards the end of the video we'll get to the actual specs, but let's just keep playing around, see what we get. Alright, so we're going to try a chisel this time and see where it gets us. So I want to frame this thing. Now it's hard not to stare at this laser, but don't stare at it because this thing will, it'll melt your eyes right out. But I'm looking at it through the camera right now on the screen, so it shouldn't be too bad. It's kind of not quite as bright as welding arc, but it's pretty bright. Now I'm not expecting this to really burn it black on this, but I just want to see if we even get a mark out of it. I just think it'd be kind of neat. Now this really isn't made for doing what I'm doing with it right now, but we're just kind of running the test on everything. I obviously have a whole lot to learn with this. It's going to be really nice for doing tool handles and things of that nature. And for cutting out sheath material. Not that I'm a sheath maker, but once in a while I'm going to have to make some. I actually have somebody to do it. I got to get in touch with them and we got to figure out how we're doing it. It's actually marking that steel pretty good. I'm impressed. This is so much fun for me. This is totally out of my realm of experience with anything I've done on this channel. I mean, we've tried editing software and things like that. I've tried the SketchUp, and when it comes to this type of programming, I struggle with it just because I just don't know. It's so far out of my bailiwick that I just, not sure on it. Now what we're doing right now is I'm going at 400 millimeters per minute at 100%, and we're doing 4 passes on this just to kind of see what it does to this metal. Now this is a chisel I've got to heat treat and everything yet. We've got a finish grind, so I can grind this out of there. It's certainly not going to take the place of my maker's mark, but I might be able to add, it'd be neat to be able to add serial numbers and things like that somewhere on these tools, or even just the name other than, you know, a little bit beyond the maker's mark. But this thing is actually marking this metal. I can read that just fine. That is really cool. I guess my next thing I'm going to have to learn is how do I center everything on there. I mean, there's a big learning curve. But I think it's friggin' wild what this machine can do now. We're actually running it quite a bit here without taking a lot of breaks. So that's pretty impressive. It's pretty darn impressive what it's doing. You can hear the blower inside the laser working, doing its job. But this thing is super smooth. If you can't tell, I'm very excited. It's one of those things when you can find just anything that helps you streamline what you're doing. Boy, what a difference. What a big difference. There will definitely be many more videos to come on this thing. Now, from everything I was reading, this little laser was not supposed to be able to do this. That's pretty wild. And look how clean that is. I wish I could get... I mean, that is superbly clean. Now this is just a rough ground 1.5 inch timber framing chisel. That is pretty friggin' wild. Yeah, it's a little brown in color, but I think if you wax that down, it'd darken it right up. But let's just see how easy this scuffs off of here, just to see how well this did. I have some 320 grit sandpaper here. And basically, I just want to see, I mean, I'm sure we can rub it off of here, but I just want to see how much it actually takes. Still there. Come on. I mean, faded it down a little bit, but I just rubbed it down pretty good with that sandpaper. So, and imagine with normal use, actually, all it did was take the carbon off of there. Boy, I wish I could zoom in a little better for you. There we go. But that's actually etched down into the metal. That actually took some of the metal. Now this is high carbon steel. That's only a 10 watt laser. I mean, that's kind of a small laser for most applications, but that's really impressive. That would be perfect for doing serial numbers, things like that. That would really do well for that. That's kind of neat. I am highly impressed. Now, for those of you who have been watching this channel for the last, 6 years now, you guys know I'm not one to do product pitches and things of that nature. It's not my job to sell things to people. If you want it, buy it. If you don't want it, don't buy it. Now, this manufacturer, I don't know what they saw on my channel, but obviously we're not a big channel or anything like that. We try to do a good job. I'm a disorganized, chaotic mess. I feel like this review, I don't think I did this machine a lot of justice, but we're gonna end up showing this a lot because this is actually gonna become a pretty good part of our tool making process, or the finishing processes. It did a fantastic job engraving into that ash handle. Nice deep burn. Did a fantastic job. The leather that we cut out with it is nice and clean. Now, yes, I had to finish the cuts for the first one. The second one, I just had a little bit on the back side holding it. Now, if I'd done 2 passes on that instead of the 1, it would not have had any issues at all. But one thing I will say, the fumes, it's probably going to be one of those things where I'm going to want to use it with the doors to the shop open, especially with the leather. The wood and stuff like that, it's not so bad, but the leather, I don't even know honestly how much I'm going to use it for cutting leather, at least this machine. I think where this thing is going to shine for me and for my uses is maker's marks, logos, things like that into wooden handles, maybe etching serial numbers into the tools themselves. I mean, folks, that was not supposed to be able to do that into the steel. Not for this size of a laser. Like I said, this is a 10-watt machine, 10-watt laser. It's on the smaller end. Now, what's neat about this, I was looking at the prices of these, and for a little over 400, you can get yourself into the laser engraver game with something that'll work with a lot of the softwares. I'm using Lightburn, that's a paid software, but they have some free softwares that I'm told work really well. I have to learn this. I have so much to learn on this, but every little thing we add to this shop, or everything that gets sent our way, it helps streamline my process. It helps make things a little more professional. You know, yeah, I'm real happy with the way this came out, but I can get better. I can make everything better. It's a learning curve. It's a process. And do I know it's strong? Yeah, I know it's strong. But now we have to do the fit and the finish. We have to make sure that the quality work we put out is professional. And that's highly important to me, that the stuff looks professional when it goes out. Now, being hand-forged stuff, it's going to have little things. That's the idea. That's what puts the soul into your tools, to my way of thinking. If I have something, I buy it and it's completely perfect, mirror polish, everything, no marks from the making, I don't know, it doesn't feel the same. But when I know that somebody took the time to hammer something like this out, even if you have a forge press like I do, or they took the time to turn the handles one at a time on a lathe, they spent a lot of time on their grinders just shaping, getting the metal how they want it. That's putting your heart and soul into something. And something like this machine, this laser machine, you can add a little more soul and a little more heart to the stuff you're making, because people want to see who made it. They want to see people like that. They want other people to see where their tools came from. That's how you develop a name for yourself. That's how branding is so important. How you brand yourself, how you brand your products. Not that I'm a big guru, but I know for me, when I buy things, a lot of times I follow a brand because they stand for quality. I want to be the same way. As we grow, as we keep making, as we keep selling, as we keep refining our process, all of that helps come together. And things like this machine helps all this come together for me. This is a big deal for me. I'm not used to having companies send things my way and to trust me enough to say, here, test it out, see what you think. Do you mind doing a video on it? For me, that's a small price to pay, and that's a big chance that these manufacturers are taking on somebody like me. It's a big chance they're taking, because, you know, I could get this thing and decide, screw it, I'm not going to do it. Now, a lot of these companies have discovered the value of going to creators and content creators and having them test it out. Now, if I don't like something, I can tell you this, you guys are never going to see it. If it doesn't work for me, you're never going to see it. I would feel terrible if somebody went and spent their hard-earned money on something like this and it didn't work worth a damn because I was, you know, being a dirtbag about it, just pushing things just so I could get free stuff. That's not, the channel's never been about that. But if something gets sent my way and I like it, I'll talk about it. I'll share it. I think it's the least I can do, especially something like this that's going to help me in my process and in my journey moving forward. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one, everybody. We're going to keep going to this stuff. I have chisels. Actually, I'm shipping out chisels all week. I've been working on them all weekend. We're going to have some footage, not for this video, but probably the next video of the forging process on the chisels, start to finish. I mean, I'm talking rough stock all the way through. So anyway, have a good one, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next one.